Looking at SPY here, we have had this massive rally from 380 all the way up to 415. And so far, we have been consolidating after that massive imbalance move. Anytime that you get a massive imbalance move, imbalance is another word for directional. After a massive directional move, you're going to see some consolidation. And although majority of times consolidations take place in sideways movement, this still counts as a consolidation zone, but it is trending higher. Now, here's how we traded today's price action on SPY. We were watching SPY on the 4-hour time frame, and once we saw SPY get above 412.20, this is where we anticipated market having a potential massive imbalance move to the upside. So, the reason why we believe that market would get a nice imbalance move at 412.20 is because this was the 4-hour time frame resistance. As you can see over these two candles here, this was resistance line here. So I drew my trend line, and now let's go over the shorter term time frame, and let's see what happened once we did break that resistance line. You can see we just had a really nice, beautiful move all the way up to 412.50. So that was a really good trade into the closing session where we had some nice profits. We also used several other confluence levels, such as the falling trend line. We also believe that since we did get a fourth retest here, and then we had what is known as a half pullback, we did get a breakout. So going into tomorrow's session, we are probably going to expect a little bit more upside on SPY towards 414.32 area, filling that gap there. Here's how you draw trend lines, okay? You draw your trend line and you connect the first peak of price action of whatever you're charting. Then you connect most of the candle touches on the second one, right? Once you do that, you basically extend your line all the way down. And the reason why you extended it all the way down is so that you can catch future price data retest at that trend line. And, if you had caught this retest, this would have been a beautiful trade, a nice double top with a beautiful bearish engulfing rejection all the way back down for a higher low structure here, basically holding that longer term trend line. We had a high here, a lower high, another lower high here, another lower high. And anytime that we placed those lower highs, we had a lower low here, followed by another lower low, followed by another lower low, followed by another lower low, and then another lower low. However, what are we seeing in the last two bounces here? In the last two sell-offs, we did not see a lower low being made. We saw equal lows and then a higher low structure. So this tells us that the trend is still bullish, and you can see that within this channel here. So despite price action being very overbought here, until we sell off from this support trend line, we are not going to be bearish. So make sure you go ahead and you draw that trend line, and once bears do get below that trend line, then this signifies a massive imbalance move to the downside towards these gap areas at 395.55. And before we go into the rest of the big tech analysis, I want to show you guys that this is very possible that we could get a potential fake out operation to the upside, where we will get a massive move to the upside only to get a huge fake out mixed signal from earnings or post earnings, and then followed by some ugly selling back down towards the 200 SMA line for a healthy corrective retest off of this huge move that we have had from 380. So not only have we had this huge move from 380, we have been going up from 348 back in October all the way up to 415. So a retest here at 395 would not only be a very healthy corrective pullback on the bigger, much bigger bullish trend, but you're also going to get these gaps filled, and you're going to see a stronger buying coming in at the 200 SMA line, which is, which are multiple confluences of, this rising trend line here, the 200 SMA line, the gap fills here. It just would be a beautiful retest. So how can this happen on SPY? How can we get this nice correction back down to 395 in the next 4 weeks? Well, let's take a look at some of the big tech. So we're going to start off with Meta. We have been saying to short Meta ever since the 220s here. It's currently trading at 412. Meta is trading inside of this longer term bullish channel, and it has been scraping against the upper resistance line for the last 2 months here, and is just really failing to push above it. So what we believe is going to happen next is, so far we have a nice drop. So we have a drop here, and then we have a base consolidation. I believe we will get a nice sell-off back down. If there's any mixed signals on Meta or any of the earnings, I think first Meta is going to fill the gap at 200, and then come back down to fill the gap at 180. And even if it comes back down to the 180, this would be a very healthy corrective wave on this bigger bullish channel at support, where buyers can come in and push the stock higher. We have to account the fact that the 200 SMA line is extremely far away from the current price action, and with the 200 SMA line behaving as a home base, home base, it is it is quite overbought, and a pullback to 180 area is not unlikely at all. The 200 is very, very highly likely. Now let's go over Nvidia. Nvidia is another stock that we are bearish on. It is inside of this beautiful bullish. Oops. There we go. It is inside of this beautiful bearish double top here. Nice double top formation. We can also say head and shoulders, and then the neckline support is right here. Once we break below the neckline support and we get below 261.92, this triple top and the bearish rising wedge formation can sell off all the way back down to 241.62 really, really fast, retest the previous breakout line, and if buyers can't hold there, then we go down there at 230 to fill the gap there. So this triple top price target is going to be all the way down to the 230 area for Nvidia, and you can see that the TTM squeeze has not fired to the downside. I mean, oh my gosh, ever since mid-January, you guys, this stock is very, very overbought. Now that we talked about Meta, so two stocks that we will be shorting with any sort of mixed signals or weakness are Meta and Nvidia. Those are our high priority shorts whenever there is weakness in the stock market. Now let's go take a look at Microsoft. So Microsoft has been, we actually traded Microsoft. One of our trader, Pumper Jack, took a really nice trade on Microsoft off of that bullish ascending formation breakout. He entered right down here at the low 280s. And this was setting up to break the resistance here, take out the supply, and trigger a massive imbalance here, as we saw. There was another reason why we were bullish on Microsoft today, thinking that it would push the market higher. And the reason why is because we saw that it was flirting with the bullish support trend line here. SPY, just like Microsoft, just like SPY, has been consolidating inside of this bullish channel here after this massive imbalance move to the upside. And into today's trading session, we did lose the level, but this was only a shakeout, fake out operation for bulls to just come back up, close the session above the rising support trend line. And I will be looking I will be looking for Microsoft to push towards 284 area tomorrow to potentially try and fill this gap here before earnings. So earnings is tomorrow after the closing session, but we believe that Microsoft will rally before earnings and going into earnings. So I will be keeping an eye out for Microsoft to push the market higher going into tomorrow's trading session, since it is a major market mover. Now let's go take a look at Apple. Here's Apple here. Apple was just beautiful today. Although we are in this drop base, bears did have a massive breakdown candle all the way down to 163.88. However, bulls came in, and now they have this inverse head from bulls, ahead of the bulls, and they just faked out bears really good, following up with a nice bullish engulfing right back up. And retested 165.46. So although we didn't close the session above 165.46, I will be watching Apple for a potential breakout from this base consolidation here above 165.46 resistance for a move towards 165.46 towards 166.43 area. This was a nice fake out today, and I believe bulls do have the momentum to try and break out from this consolidation base towards this gap fill area at 166.65 before earnings report. So again, we believe that tomorrow the market could get pumped up early on. If we don't gap up tomorrow, then the market will get pumped up into the opening session with Microsoft rallying into earnings as well as Meta. So we have Microsoft and Meta reporting after hours, which are going to be strong market movers. That is all for today's analysis, everyone. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up so you help us with the YouTube algorithm. If you liked our content, please subscribe to our channel so that you're able to see our future content, and we look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's trading session. It is going to be very exciting, and looking forward to seeing you all in tomorrow's video. Take care.